being on the play again, I think this is still fine here. The only thing that I might change here, I'm actually just to see what happens here, and for the sake of testing against a deck that is not something that's around all the time. I'm just gonna see what happens if we bring in the sideboard plan here. We're gonna keep three Battle Rage, 2 Become Immense, and then we're going to keep in 2 of these just as Skull Cracks for Sorin, probably. So this way, our deck has kind of shifted into this like grindy Outpost Siege Sarkhan plan. We have a little bit of the combo here, just to keep Rob honest, but that's basically just because Rending Volley and Roast don't do a whole lot against Rob's deck. So here, this hand is fine. We're gonna keep. It's a little slow, but it'll be all right. Even if Rob duresses us, he'll just take the Outpost Siege. We'll have an answer to his initial threats with this Arc Lightning. All right, so Rob keeps as well. We're just gonna throw a Cinderglade into play tapped here and pass the turn. Alright, so Rob starts on Polluted Delta and does not crack the fetch to duress us, which is good news. Drawing an Arc Lightning there is definitely not bad. Arc Lightning, like I said, is a card we lean on pretty heavily in these matchups where there's just a lot of dudes that we need to kill, or just a lot of things that we want to interact with. So here we're going to be able to do a lot of damage with this Snarlid if he doesn't end up having anything. Like if he goes like plays a Mountain here, then plays a Fodder, we're just probably going to get chumped twice. But since he didn't crack this end of turn, I feel like he again has like a low land hand, which isn't bad. I just don't know why. I mean, this could just be that he's also just not thinking about it end of turn. But the fact that I feel like Rob's a competent enough player to know that it's just better averages of drawing something that's not a land if you fetch before you draw your next card. I feel like he's probably just banking on the little extra value you get from not fetching. Alright, a third Arc Lightning. So we have Arc Lightning for days. So we'll see what happens here. Alright, so he's just going to take 3. Before damage, I'm going to crack this fetch. And get a forest. So we're going to deal in 3. 4 here. I could Arc Lightning his face just because we have a lot of redundancy, but I feel like I don't really know how we lose if we just have Arc Lightning for days against Rob's deck once he starts actually putting tokens into play. So I think I'm just going to hold back and not do anything. Alright, so Rob double fetches now. He could just be wanting to grab an extra land for what he had going on, and it might have just happened that he did. He also might not have known what colors to fetch out. But for whatever reason, he's now figured out what he needs to do. So if this is an outburst, it's going to turn out fairly well for us. So Rob holding up makes me feel like he's got Crackling Doom here, which is fine. We're actually fine with that because we're just going to jam this Outpost Siege on Khans. I'm going to make Rob feel like it's something that I'm trying to do to just kill him here. I'm going to attack in, and I'm going to fetch right away, just to make sure that he knows that I'm trying to get on the max amount of damage and that we're both on the same page. and then see what he does. If he has no effect here because he's waiting for me to play like a pump spell or something, great. Yeah, like I'm totally fine with this. We're going to go to main phase 2, and I'm just going to drop this Outpost Siege. If he Crackling Dooms end of turn, he's going to feel pretty bad about that, but it is what it is. Yep. So yeah, here I feel like Rob was trying to bait out a pump spell, and really wasn't worried about taking 4 damage, but he didn't want to die there. I don't know why you wouldn't just Crackling Doom right away, though, because I just can't... Like, there's no way that I pump around that one, basically. But in my opinion, he just took an extra 4 damage for no reason there. Dragon Fodder's fine. We have answers for days. Alright, so now we're just going to be able to go to town with this Outpost Siege. Oh man, just value for days, Value City. So we're going to put this Abbot into play, and then we're going to get to exile a card off that, which is Battle Rage. Unfortunately, we can't use that one, so it's just going to go in the exile, but that's okay. So we didn't end up hitting a land there, which is unfortunate, seeing as how we saw 3 cards, but it happens. Alright, he's going to Impulse my Abbot here. If this was 2, I'd be able to get around it, but seeing as how it's got Spell Mastery because of the Crackling Doom and the Dragon Fodder in the graveyard, this is just going to happen. I'm not particularly worried about it, but it is what it is. So here, if Rob ends up playing Sorin, I'm just going to Skullcrack, deal 3 to the Sorin, and then kill Sorin and a Goblin. Didn't end up looking like that's what happened. But that's okay. This may be a Gideon. Okay, Pia and Kiran. So this is going to work out fine. I'm going to kill Pia and Kiran and a Thopter, and then leave him with Thopter and 2 Goblins. And then the next turn, I can just clean up the mess with the other Arc Lightnings that we have. And this is one of the reasons why you try and board out the combo with Outpost Sieges, because that's just super awkward. Like, this card didn't do anything for me there. But that's okay. We just... there's nothing in Rob's deck that I've seen thus far that justifies bringing in a Rending Volley, and Roast can hit things, but it just seems so terrible. Like, the only thing that I would feel like validated in roasting would be Pia and Kiran, and even that's bad because he's getting 2 Thopters out of the deal. So here we're just going to put a Scythe Leopard into play our Arc Lightning, and pass the turn. Rob attacks for 2, I'm just going to take it. So we exile off the Outpost Siege. Alright, it's Evolving Wilds. And then Windswept Teeth. So here... the debate is I can play this Windswept to have the extra untapped mana, or I can play this Evolving Wilds. This card was fundamentally free because I got to exile it off the Outpost Siege. So losing it really isn't a big deal if it messes up my curve, seeing as how I drew another land. But I think here it's not going to matter. I think I'm just going to play this Evolving Wilds. Give my guy the landfall trigger. And I think that I'm just going to Arc Lightning right off the bat. And then see what Rob does. Alright. So then we're just going to attack, and we're going to throw this in the bin. Alright, so Rob just takes 3 there. This could be a Secure the Waste, which would be a little rough for us. But we'll see what happens. The fact that he didn't kill his Scythe Leopard, even though that he knew that he wasn't going to be able to block, makes me feel like he doesn't have that. Yep, this looks like Secure the Waste. Yep. So he's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. It's a little brutal, but we'll see. What would really make this brutal is if one of his other 2 cards or the cards he draws is a Gideon or a Sorin. If not, taking 5 and going to 9 here isn't going to be awful just because I'm going to be able to kill 2 of these. And if I really want to, I can just like play the fetch land and then block one of the other ones. This looks like a Sorin, and it is in fact a Sorin. Pretty much the worst possibles here. Getting completely punished by not playing this Windswept Heath, but it happens. So we're going to go down to 4. Rob's going to gain 10. So here I know that we're going to play the land. I think that I attack Sorin for 2. Yep, no point in cracking the fetch. Do things. So here I think we're just going to deal 3 to his Sorin and drop a land. Just going to point to one of these. I'm sure Rob will get the idea that I want to kill a lot of these tokens. Yep. I'm going to crack this. Go to 3. Grab a forest. Pass the turn. So again, if Rob has Crackling Doom here, we're just going to die, but we'll see what happens. Alright, Drana. Not particularly worried about that. I mean, it's a good card for sure. And a hanger back. I mean, Drana is lethal, but in terms of things that we can deal with versus things that we can't, we're gonna need to draw something good regardless in this situation. Mountain is not it, and Scythe Leopard is not it. Alright, so we'll go to game 5.